Did you know you can dump your RV tanks at home? Well, in most cases you can, and we're going to show you how. So let's go. Hi everybody, Mike from RVBlogger here, and today we're talking about dumping your RV tanks at home. Many people don't even know you're allowed to dump your RV tanks at home, but in a lot of cases you are. Why would you want to even dump your tanks at home though? Well, I know in our case, sometimes we go boondocking for a long weekend, or we stay at a campground where there are no dumping stations, and then rather than find something on the way home, it's just more convenient to get here and dump our tanks at home. And another reason we like to dump our tanks at home is because we like to maintain our gray and black water tanks, do service to them, clean them out occasionally, and it's very convenient to go ahead and take care of all that at home, where I have all my tools, supplies, all that good stuff to be able to go ahead and dump. But a lot of people wonder if it's legal to go ahead and dump your RV tanks at home. And really it just depends on your local jurisdiction wherever you live. Where we live, it is perfectly legal to go ahead and dump your tanks at home. There's no problem with it. All we're doing is the same thing we would be doing in the house, so it's really no different. No law prevents us from being able to do that. One thing you do need to be aware of though is, if you're going to be dumping your tanks at home, you probably want to let your next door neighbor know, so you don't kind of catch them by surprise or offend them in any way. Let them know you know what you're doing, you're going to take care of things, and keep it cool with the neighbors. Before we get started though, let's talk about a couple things about dumping your tanks at home. First of all, there's a difference between a sewer and a storm drain. A sewer is where all of your wastewater from your house goes, and it either goes into a private sewer system or into a public sewer system. A storm drain is a lot different. That's where we saw Cousin Eddie dumping his tanks in the movie Christmas Vacation, and you don't want to be dumping your tanks into the storm drain. That is against the law, and you will get in trouble for that. So there are two different kinds of sewage disposal systems. Like I mentioned, there are private and public. Where we live, we are on a public sewer system, and all that means is that our county handles all of the wastewater that we use and all of our neighbors use. So when we have wastewater in our house, it goes through the plumbing pipes underground out to the main pipe in the road, and then it flows to a sewage treatment station somewhere in the county. The water's all treated there and disposed of. Sometimes people have a private septic system or a private sewer system, and that is where you might be on a larger piece of property. Your house, all your gray and black water will flow into a big tank, and then that tank will either pump or gravity flow underground and percolate into the ground, and every now and then you have to call and have your tank pumped out. So those are the two main kinds of sewer systems that are out there. So why don't we show you what you're going to look for so that you know where to dump your gray or black water with your RV. So we just switched sides from the other side of the RV where we have our connection for our sewer hose, and our clean out for our sewer system is on the wrong side of the driveway, so we have to run the hose under the RV over to where our clean out is. So what you look for, whether you have a private or a public sewer system at your home, is where the clean out is. All this is a pipe that runs down, forms a T with the pipe that runs from your house either out to the street or to your septic tank. And you can dump right into here, and it'll continue to gravity flow out to the public sewer line or into your septic tank. So this, normally these caps don't come off this easy, but ours does. So that makes it really, really convenient for us. So all we're going to do is remove this cap, and then we are going to put our septic hose into the clean out. Now the key with this when you're doing this at home is to make sure you have a really, really tight fit. You don't want this thing fitting loosely. and leaving a gap around it, because when you dump your tanks, you're going to have a lot of odor that gets out into the air, and your neighbors will not appreciate that. So make sure it's a good tight fit, and we like to put weights over top of ours to hold it on so it's nice and snug. This is a storm drain. Much different than a sewer, but a lot of people call a storm drain a sewer. But there is no sewer water that runs in a storm drain. There's no gray water and there's no black water. There's only rainwater that's supposed to go in here. So, like Cousin Eddie, if you dump your black tank in here, it's gonna smell awful. The neighbors are all gonna know. You'll probably have the county show up and give you a hard time, and you will probably get a huge fine. So never ever dump in a storm drain. Okay, so here we are back on the other side of the RV, and we're ready to dump our tanks now that we've run the hose under the RV and it's hooked up to the sewer clean out in the front yard on the other side of the driveway. Now, one thing to notice here is that I do have my wheel chocks in because I had to sort of climb under the RV to pull the hose through. So if you're gonna be on a tilt or a slant of any kind, you wanna make sure that you have your wheel chocks in place. Also, we have a product called the Rhino Rhino Blaster. This thing is great. We really like it because it helps us to maintain our black tank much easier than what it used to. We used to have to either hold the toilet valve to fill the black tank or pour buckets of water in there from the kitchen sink, or sometimes we would even bring the hose in through the window and stick it down the toilet to fill the black water tank faster, so we weren't taking forever to fill that tank. Now with the Rhino Blaster, we don't have to do all that. We just simply hook a garden hose up. There's a gate that we close on the Rhino Blaster, so you can open up your black tank valve, close the gate on the Rhino Blaster, and now we can just take the garden hose from this position and fill the entire black tank with water. And it's a great way to rinse your tanks, and that's an important part of maintaining things, to keep them clean and keep them flushed out. All you have to do to run the water is turn that little valve, and that garden hose is shooting water up into the black tank. When you're done filling your tank, just close the valve, and then you go ahead and pull the gate valve to open it up, which I'm going to do now, and it'll all flow out of there. Now, we've gone ahead and dyed our water blue to prevent you from seeing the reality of the situation. Now, we didn't have a lot of water in there just for demonstration purposes, but I'm going to close the gate valve on the Rhino Blaster and now refill the black tank, which really shoots a nice strong jet of water in there. It does really help to clean out the black tank really well. We'll let that fill up for a while, and then we'll go ahead and drain that out again. Once you fill it and drain it a few times and everything's clean, then you're in good shape at that point. Okay, so now we're going to drain this for the third time. So imagine if this was, you really got home and your tank was full, you would probably need to fill your tank at least 2 or 3 times to be able to really clean it out and have all clear water. We'll drain this and see if all the blue is out, and then we'll know that we've really completely flushed our tank. Nope, there's more blue. Okay, so we have filled the tank for the 4th time, and we're going to go ahead and flush it out again. The main thing is you can see how easy it is to fill and refill the black tank, to go ahead and maintain it and make sure it's really nice and clean after every time you use it. No more blue. It looks like that water is nice and clear. And so we've really gotten our black tank nice and clean. I just want to take a minute here though and talk about the Rhino Blaster for a second. We love this product. We're so happy since we bought it because as you can see, it's very easy to maintain and flush out your black water tank. They do sell a Rhino Blaster without this gate valve for some reason, but without the gate valve, you can't fill the black water tank. If there was no gate valve, this would just be open all the time. And if I turn on the tank, as fast as I'm squirting water into my black tank, it's running back out. And so really, that's just gonna be able to clean the bottom of the black tank and not very well. With the gate valve closed, that's gonna allow me to go ahead and leave the black tank valve open on the RV and fill the black tank so I get a really good rinse. So there is a cheaper version of this out there without the gate valve, but in my opinion, you should not buy that product. Buy the one with the gate valve. It's a little more expensive, but it's totally worth it. It saves us a ton of time. We don't have to drag the hose through the RV window into the toilet to fill the black tank quickly, or sit inside and hold the toilet valve wide open and try to fill the tank that way. And another product that I really think is fantastic are these orange gloves. They're different than the black gloves that you find out there because they're much thicker. These gloves are very, very thick. They're very, very hard to rip. And they also have this diamond pattern on them, which makes gripping things really, really terrific. So we'll go ahead and put links to both of these in the description down below. And you can also find them on the gear page of our website. But we highly recommend both. We're just super happy with both of them. Hey guys, thanks for watching our YouTube video about how to dump your black water tank at home. We hope you enjoyed it and found it informative. And if you did, we hope that you'll watch some of our other videos. And also, please subscribe to our channel. We would really, really appreciate it. You can also catch us over on our website at RVBlogger.com. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.